A U.S. senator visited a local American Legion in Endicott to announce new legislation to address traumatic brain injuries among veterans. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand held a news conference at the Legion Post 82 this morning to announce her newly proposed Blast Over Pressure Safety Act. Service members who regularly fire heavy weapons are at increased risk of brain injury due to repeated exposure to explosions from their own weapons, which is known as blast over pressure. Gillibrand says the proposed legislation would increase prevention by having service members keep a log and record the severity and consistency of their exposure to blast over pressure.
This legislation would require the DoD to enact better blast over pressure screening, tracking, prevention, and treatment. It would improve transparency regarding the weapons that our service members use. I also sent a letter to the Government Accountability Office requesting a review of the Department of Defense efforts to identify, prevent, and treat traumatic brain injuries related to blast over pressure exposure.
She says those suffering from traumatic brain injuries, or TBI, can experience depression, hallucinations, suicidal tendencies, dementia, and other serious health problems. Gillibrand says that at least a dozen Navy SEALs who have died by suicide over the past decade were later found to have suffered blast injuries. The Broome County Executive Jason Garnar says there shouldn't be any reason that the legislation doesn't pass with flying colors.
I hope everybody in Broome County writes whoever they need to write to get this passed. My understanding is this is bipartisan legislation. This should not ever be a party thing, a Republican Democrat thing. This is just the right thing to do, and I'm strongly 100% supportive of it.
Garnar says we have over 10,000 veterans living in Broome County. Gillibrand says one of the main contributing factors of TBI are the weapons being used. She says the legislation would require guns to be reviewed to determine their impact on the brain. She expects the legislation to pass in the coming days.